You know, some crimes are so brutal, they just scar a nation's memory. But what happens when the conviction for a crime like that is built on a foundation of, well, doubt? Today, we're going to dig into a case that for more than 2 decades has raised these huge questions about evidence, justice, and what the truth really is.
So picture this. It's a summer afternoon in the English countryside. Just seems idyllic, right? Dr. Lin Russell, her two daughters, little 6-year-old Megan and 9-year-old Josie, and their dog are just walking home. And then, in a horrific, frenzied 15-minute attack, they're tied up and bludgeoned with a hammer. Lin, Megan, and their dog are killed. But somehow, miraculously, Josie survives.
You can imagine this attack sent an absolute shockwave of fear across the whole country. The police were under immense pressure to answer this one terrifying question: who on earth could do this? Their search would eventually lead them to a man whose entire past was just a litany of violence. About a year after the murders, police finally arrested a man named Michael Stone. And, on the surface, he was exactly the kind of person you might suspect. His life story was one of escalating aggression and serious instability. And when you look at his record, a really clear pattern starts to emerge. This isn't petty crime we're talking about. A hammer attack back in '81, a near-fatal stabbing in '83. A judge even said during one sentencing that Stone's violent nature could lead to him killing someone one day. He was a man who was just spiraling. And his state of mind right before the murders was incredibly volatile. He was battling severe mental illness, a massive heroin addiction, and he was telling medical staff about his fantasies of killing children. Get this, just 5 days before the attack, he was so enraged that a psychiatrist later told police he actually feared for his own safety. So, with a profile like that, the case seems pretty straightforward, doesn't it? You have a violent man with a history of using hammers who was threatening to do something bad just days before the crime. But this is where the official story gets incredibly complicated. Okay, but here is the absolute kicker. Forensically, there was nothing. No fingerprints, no matching DNA from hair is found at the scene. Not a single thing to physically tie Michael Stone to that crime. The entire case against him was built on circumstantial evidence and, most importantly, a confession he supposedly made to another prisoner. And this right here is the central problem that has haunted this conviction for decades. Without any forensic evidence, the entire weight of the prosecution's case landed on the testimony of a single jailhouse informant. So this is the alleged confession, supposedly spoken through a heating pipe between two cells. An inmate named Damian Daly claimed Stone gave him all these details. The problem? Every single one of these secret facts had already been widely reported in the national newspapers on the exact same day the confession was supposedly made. The foundation of this case just completely crumbles when you look at it. At the first trial, there were 3 informants. One of them admitted he lied almost immediately. Another one was paid by a tabloid for his story. So that led to a retrial, where the case got even thinner, resting entirely on Damian Daly, a man who would later go on to be convicted of murder himself. For years, Michael Stone insisted he was innocent from his prison cell. But then, a new name entered the frame, and it's a name already synonymous with some of Britain's most notorious crimes. Levi Belfield, a brutal, sadistic killer known for attacking women and girls with a hammer. The similarities in his methods were absolutely chilling, and a lot of people, including Stone's legal team, started to wonder if the police had convicted the wrong man. But Belfield's involvement only makes the mystery deeper. He confesses, then he denies it, he signs a formal written confession giving details of the crime, and then he retracts it, claiming he was paid to lie. So is he just playing mind games, or is there actually a flicker of truth in what he's saying? But the whole theory of Belfield's guilt hits a major roadblock: a really powerful alibi from his ex-partner, Johanna Collings. Now, what's so crucial here is that Collings' testimony had actually helped convict Belfield for his other murders, so her credibility is high, and she insists that he was with her for her birthday, the very day of the attack. That's a huge problem for this theory. So we're left with 2 possibilities: a violent man convicted on the shakiest of evidence, or a serial killer playing twisted games from behind bars. And the legal battle has just raged on for years. The legal battle has been this constant push and pull. Stone was convicted again, sentenced, and his appeals were shot down. Then, a key piece of evidence that was thought to be lost, a bootlace from the scene, was rediscovered. And just last year, the body that reviews potential miscarriages of justice agreed to take a whole fresh look at the entire case. And this is what it all could come down to. A single piece of physical evidence from the crime scene. A 1-meter-long bootlace. It was used in the attack and then dropped by the killer. Crucially, tests confirmed it holds 0 DNA from Michael Stone. It's the one thing that speaks silently from that terrible day.
And that leaves us with this final, lingering question. We've got a conviction that's based on a confession that has all but disintegrated. We have another serial killer who confesses and then retracts. So after all this time, could the most advanced scientific techniques applied to this single piece of evidence finally cut through all the noise and tell us who was really on that country lane over 25 years ago? The answer could rewrite a crucial chapter of British criminal history.